The 9th of August, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we didn't get to Amarava. We just have the last the tail end of this statement of the Gemora's discussion of Ravina. In other words, we're up to Velo Amru. Lo Amrun Ella de Lo Khalif Bava de Beidina. Lo Khalif Bava de Dina. Lo. Oh, that we did. Amr Ashkahu Beidina, but Amrule. Yeah, and then we have the last below Amra. The last Lo Amrun before Amarava. So Amarava is on page Kuf Yod Gimel, Amud Aleph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from the top, and so we're just the very last below Amru, which starts off the last word on the 5th line from the top, below Amrun. We're discussing the cases where we say that we'll accept the statement of the of who?
The neighbor and the woman.
Because I'm thinking like this, according to the svara that it says, yeah. Okay.
I think it was, Rabbi, that we said that if he's not in town, then the woman or the neighbor can tell him. But if he's in town, they can't, because we're afraid they're going to assume that the messenger of the court is going to tell him.
Right. Okay, so this story with the last thing that we said, that the person in question that need to summon to the Bezdin, if he passes by on his way there, on his way back, if he passes by the Bezdin, so then we also don't rely on the say-so of the woman or the neighbor, but the shlucha the rabbanan, he won't make that mistake. In other words, he won't make that mistake. Okay,
right? Because he is the shlucha the rabbanan. So he can't mistakenly think that he himself already told him.
He doesn't care that. Well, is that who they think is going to tell him, or anybody from the Bezdin, because he walks by the Bezdin?
I think they think that the shlucha from the Bezdin is going to tell him, so they're not going to tell him.
That's when he's in the city,
right? So if he passes by the Bezdin,
all the more so. Mm-hmm.
Then, well, I'm not sure actually, because if he just passed by and then he goes away, maybe they wouldn't necessarily assume that the shlucha from the Bezdin happened to be there when he passed by. Seems less likely.
Oh, in other words, he's okay. He's all right. Okay. Yeah. I don't know that according to the note that I have here, they're explaining that this case where he passes by the Bezdin is talking about a case when he's not in the city. Because if he's in the city, then yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If he's in the city, then and we already said that we don't rely on them because they'll say that the Shluch of the Rabbanan is going to do it. The agent of the Bezdin is going to do it.
Right.
If this case is also talking about he's in the city, so then it makes no difference whether he goes by the Bezdin or not.
Right.
He's in the city. He's already they're already not going to rely on them. So talk about a case where he's not in the city, and then if that's so then we're not going to rely on the shliach of the Bezdin to do it. He's apparently only does in the city, but in any case, I don't know what the case is. He's not in the city, but he still passes by the Bezdin. I don't understand it, but whatever the case is, he's at some point he's going to pass by the Bezdin. So then we say that we don't rely on the other people to do it, because why?
We don't need them. If he's passing by the Bezdin, they assume Bezdin's telling him.
Yeah, somehow I don't know exactly why that would be either. But the Bezdin's, they're inside the Bezdin. They're not looking 24 hours a day to see when he's passing by. But I guess that's the point. The point is that they know that he does come by, and they know that what times, approximate times he comes by. He's very regular. I don't know. They'll find a way to get to him. Okay, whatever. Fine, but that's got to be talking about a case where he is not currently found in the city. And even though he's not currently found in the city, but he's going to be passing by the Bezdin on his way when he returns. I guess I don't know. Can't quite figure out what the case is all about, tell you the truth. But okay, so now we go to the last case. Loy Amran, El de Osi Beyome. And Lou, you want to continue with the reading?
The Gemora further qualifies its ruling that a woman or neighbor may be relied upon to serve a summons. Below Amaran, Ella dease biyomei. And we said this only where it is known that he, i.e., the person being summoned, is coming home that day. Aval lo ase biome lo. But if he's not coming home that day, we would not excommunicate him on the assumption that they serve the summons. Ema ish taluye ish tale. Because we consider the possibility that they forgot about their assignment before he returned.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there's a Rashi over here.
The
Ishtaluye.
The Ishtaluye, it says that shachachu, that's it, they forgot. shlichutam, their shlichus, that they would do it. Or Sheshovoto Ploni Lebeto, before that person, Ploni returned to his house.
Right. So we're only going to rely on them if we know that that Ploni is coming back today, because then they can we tell them, and then they only got then they got that day, and they're gonna tell him, and that's it. They don't have to remember to tell him anymore. They already told him because he came back that day. But if he's not going to come back today, so then we don't tell them. Don't bother to engage the neighbor or the woman to do so, because there's no reason that we can't rely on them, because they're going to forget. They're going to forget about the shlichus. It's not really their job. It's not really what they do. It's not like the member of the Beis Din. So therefore, we can't rely on their say so, and therefore we won't put if the guy, we don't take any action against him. Right. Okay. Now we're up to Amar Rava.
The Gemora defines when a person who has been excommunicated for contempt of court is released from excommunication. Amar Rava. Rava said, Hai man dichsiv alei pesicha. I'm sorry, I got to get the door.
Okay. Anybody available to read?
Gemora defines when a person who has been excommunicated for contempt of court is released from the excommunication. Rava said, hey, main siv alay persihor al olo or sai nor. In the case of a person against whom a bill of excommunication was written, it's not coming to court. I'd say nor lo non way. The law is that until return, actually to court, we do not tear it up for him. All similarly, if the bill was written for not obeying the verdict of the court, I'd say yay, low, for nay, low. The law is that until he actually obeys, we do not tear it up for him. The Gemora rejects the last ruling, below he, but it's also not so. It's none, nor, and in the fact, once he says, I will obey, we merely tear it up for him. The Gemara defines the point at which the court excommunicates a person for not obeying the summons. Omar Rav Kastor, Rabbi Chisda said, Kovim Zaman Shenei Bahamishi summon a person to appear before the court on Monday, the following Thursday, the following Monday, when more not Gemora for Gemora, i.e. we make an appointment and an appointment after another appointment. Below Mochar Kasinon, and the next day, i.e. the Tuesday after the last Monday, we write a bill of excommunication against him.
Mhm.
The Gemara relates an incident.
Wait, 1 second, wait, let's take a look at the Rashis before we go further into Gemora. Thank you, Alan.
Okay.
Phil, Dibra Maskell, ad the Osel Beit Dina lo Kariden le.
Until he comes to Beis Din, we don't tear it up. Va'af agav, even though the Amar Atina, I'm gonna come.
Yeah. It's not enough for him to say that he's going to come. He's got to come. When he comes, then we tear it up. And then we had this other case. Al delot sais ladina. What happens if he doesn't? He refuses to fulfill the psak of the bezdin.
Until
Sais, doesn't listen to the din of the bezdin.
okay, until he actually listens to the Beis Din. That's Sayida. The frollo, and they will collect it.
Oh, you got a Rashi before that.
Oh, sorry about that. No. Oh, sorry about that. Until he didn't listen to the Beis Din. Sha'amru, he'll say to them, say go, kain lo, take it. The lo kayam, and it doesn't exist.
So we said to him, what's it mean he's not listening to the psak of the bezdin? Explains Rashi, sha'amru lo, but we, the bezdin, said to him, say, ten lo, go and give him the money that we paskin that you owe him. Below kiyem, and he doesn't do it. So in that case, what happens? So that's the next Rashi. Aditsayis lo b'karinen le.
Okay. Let's see. That's what we said. Ad sayas they.
Aditsayis
Ad sayas. Until he listens to the Beis Din, the Yifro, and he will collect it. And it's low mikran. We don't tear it up. I'll give the Oma Parano. So he can say that I paid it. So
dinner until he listens to the din, which Rashi explains. What does it mean? Listening to the din, that he goes and pays him. So until he listens to the din, lo mikarin le, we do not tear it up. Even though he says, I'm going to pay it, I am going to pay it. He didn't say, I'm not paying it. And he didn't say nothing. He said, I'm going to pay it. So he's basically saying he's going to listen, just like the guy who said he says, I'm going to come, but he hasn't come yet. So what's the din in this case? The Gemora says, Aditzais lo makarin le. Ad tzayis. And then, but then it says velohi.
Which one, which Rashi you now on?
So let's do the velohi.
The lohi cave in the Amma that's in a Karana. And not him, since he can say that he obeyed, gets torn up.
Oh, that's the difference. See, Rashi's saying over here, velohi. The Gemora is explaining, but the din, it's not so. The din is not, in other words, Rava himself, until we got to the words in the Gemara that says velohi, those were the words of Rava. Rava said, ad tzais ledin, until he listens to the din that the Bezdin paskined on him. And Rashi explained that meant that the Bezdin told him, say v'tenlo, go and pay the guy, because we paskin that you owe the money, and therefore we say, go and pay him. That's the psak din. So if he doesn't do so, according to Rava says, until he pays it, we do not tear up the psicha, the shtar nidui, the bill of censure. But the Gemora, these are the words of the Gemora now. The Gemora comes in and says velohi, but it's not really correct what Rava said over here, says the Gemora. The din, the din is not like what Rava is saying over here. That's not the halacha. What is the halacha? The halacha is, says the Gemara, Kaven de Amar Saisana, since he said he will abide by the ruling of the Bezdin to pay the guy, Karinin lay, we tear up his psicha. And Rashi over here says, why? So here we see that we got a difference between the halacha, the two halachas that Rava quoted over here. The Gemara agrees with the halacha that Rava said, if he doesn't come to the Bezdin, and all he says is, I am going to come, we don't tear up the psicha. But when it comes to abiding by the ruling of the Bezdin, and in this case, Rashi says abiding by the ruling means go and pay Ploni the money. So in that case, all the Rava said that unless and until he goes and pays him, we don't tear it up. But the Gemara says, no, here we don't say that. Here we say it's enough that he says, I am going to fulfill the words of the Bezdin, I am going to do it. And Rashi explains why. Because there's a difference between coming to the Bezdin and paying money. What's the difference? Rashi says, we don't kaven to amar tzaisana karana la'alter. We tear it up right away. The moment that he says he's going to listen to the Bezdin. Why don't we wait for him to pay the money to Ploni, like the Bezdin paskin that he's got to do? Says Rashi, because the difference is Dilma leis zuze hashta v'torach. Maybe he doesn't have the money right now, and he's
read that Rashi, because we didn't really read that Rashi that you're explaining. That's the next Rashi.
I thought you read the first part of it. Okay.
No. Okay. So the difference is whether or not he says he's going to pay. The low he gave the Oman, I will obey. If he says I will do the obeying, that they do tear it up. La'alta, like immediately. The Dilma, perhaps lace zuze. He doesn't have the money now. Hashta. The Torah, and it's a bother. Aval ba'ata the ba'ata ladina, but when he comes to din, call kama all along, the lo ati afkareno, who he will not come to so to speak to afkar it, to get out of it.
Afgarusahi. It's regarded as a defiance of the Bezdin. Afgarusa. But we don't say that somebody that doesn't pay right away, it's called the defying the psak of the Bezdin, because maybe he doesn't have the ability to pay right now. He doesn't have any money right now. But why does, if we told him to come, we told him to show up, why doesn't he show up? What he's going to say? He's got a dentist appointment. Change the dentist appointment. You got to come. The Bezdin is summoning you. So if you don't come, that's considered to be afgarusa. That's considered to be a defiance of the order of the Bezdin. It's not enough to say, I'm going to come, I'm going to come.
But if he says, I'm going to pay, we believe that he's going to try and pay.
Yeah, if he says he's going to pay, so then we give him the opportunity to pay. We tear it up right away. Tear it up right away.
And then I guess if he doesn't pay after a certain amount of time, we make another one.
Could be, yeah. Could be like that. Well, that's the Gemora that we had before. We had with that Gemora that we said for this period of time, he's trying to get a loan. He's trying to get his things in order so that he can pay. We saw that Gemara before. But yeah, after a certain period of time, we what was it, 90 days? We say that that's it.
Right.
Okay. Okay. And now we have Rav Chizda, Amar Rav Chizda. What did Rav Chizda say? Alan read this over here. Amar Rav Chizda, Kovin Zman, Hamishi, Sheni, Hamishi, Vesheni. Oh, in other words, we said before in the Gemora, Rava said on Kufya Beis Amid Beis that we write a shtar psicha, this bill of censure, only after Yom Sheni is passed, Yom Chamishi is passed, and another Yom Sheni is passed, and he still has not come to the Bezdin to report. And so on that, that's what Rav Chizda is talking about. Rav Chizda Kovin Zman, Sheni Chamisha V'Sheni, Zimna V'Zimna Basa Zimna. Rashi over here, hopefully. What does this mean? Zimna V'Zimna Basa Zimna.
Zimna.
Well, we got Kovin Zman.
Kovin Zman. We set a time. Okay, we have to make an appointment, so to speak. Zman, we set a time.
Kovin Zman.
I'm going to come. Kovim Zimna. Yom Sheni, the Shabbos on Yom Sheni. The Im Lo Yavo, and if he doesn't come, Yom Chamishi, then we invite him to come on, give him another time to come on Yom Chamishi. The Im Lo Yavo, if he doesn't come then, Mazmino to Yom Sheni, and until to the following Yom Sheni. Va'ad Lamachar, until the next day, which would be Yom Shlishi. Lo Kadvinin, we don't Paticha, we don't write that exemption from the excommunication. Shekol Hayom Mamtinan, we wait. Shema Yavo. So he basically has, they tell him to come on the Yom Sheni, he doesn't come. Yom Chamishi, he doesn't come, and they give him Yom Sheni again. And if he doesn't come, he's got till that next Yom Shlishi to show up. And if he doesn't, then we write it.
Seems to be a lot of leniency here,
Isn't it? It's not a one day. He gets 3 days plus the day after, hold the day after to show up. Knowing what you can get away with.
And you normally don't see that. You're very, very lenient, very.
Only afterwards do we write it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, that seems to be the halacha. What Rav Chisda says over here. Yeah.
Actually, we don't give him the Tuesday. It's just a question if we write it on the Tuesday, if he hasn't shown up by that whole Monday, we give him the whole day to come. That Yom that we're talking about that we wait is the last Yom Sheni. And then Yom Shlishi, we write it.
And in the note for number 12 says the same applies to a man who's out of town. Conversely, a woman who attends a business out of town is also given 3 summonses before it becomes subject to communication.
We didn't read the second. There's more to that.
This much leniency ever? Very lenient on this.
Yeah, but you skipped the part before we got to that.
Oh, okay.
There's another part where that's relating to. That note 12 is an whole paragraph before that.
Okay, come on. So Zimna B'Zimna Basar Zimna. So in other words, what that means is Zimna is the first Monday that we told him to show up, and he didn't. V'Zimna, that's the second day on Yom Hamishi that we told him to show up, and he didn't. Basar Zimna, and then we told him to show up on the second Yom Sheni, and he didn't show up. So then Lamachar on the day after that, Kasvinan. Because why? Because we wait the whole Yom Sheni for him, I guess. Yeah. Even if he comes an hour too late, so okay. We're not going to write the star against him unless he doesn't show up the whole Yom Sheni, the second Yom Sheni. Okay. And that's so we read the Rashi. Okay. And that's that. Yeah. Okay, very good. So we'll hold it for here. We're up to Rav Asi for tomorrow. Be'ezus Hashem. Rav Yasi Ikla.
Gotcha. Okay. Take care. Be well.
Thank you,
All the
Rabbi.
best.
Scott,
Bye-bye.
Phil.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye, Phil.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Alan. Bye, Lou.
Bye-bye.